Hey guys, today I'm going to be testing out a full face, or mostly full face, of Saie Beauty. I didn't get every single one of their products, but I did get a good variety to show you guys. So I'm gonna do a demo. I did go ahead and purchase these all myself. I got them from Sephora, and the first product that I'm gonna start off with is, I feel like this is a really popular one. This is their Glowy Super Gel Lightweight Dewy Highlighter. So this can be used in a variety of ways. You can kind of mix it with your foundation. You can apply it before a foundation, or you can use it as a highlighter. So it says that this is an illuminating gel-based luminizer made of 75% water that can be mixed with skincare, foundation, or worn alone for a fresh, dewy look. So I've seen some people just using this like on its own and just kind of using it to kind of give a nice luminosity to the skin, kind of for that like filter effect. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of this. Now I got the mini size. Here is what the product looks like. It's a bit runny. Almost has like an oily kind of look to it. Maybe I need to shake it up a little bit better. So I'm just gonna apply this on its own, almost like a primer, or just to create a luminous base before applying the foundation or the skin tint. So I'm just gonna take a little bit more of this because I wanna add a little bit more. I don't know if you can tell a huge difference just yet, although it definitely did give my skin a bit of a luminosity, which is really pretty. I do have quite a bit of hyperpigmentation from past acne, so this kind of might like illuminate that a little bit, but just shaking this up a little bit more, taking another pump. Okay, so it feels, I don't know, it has like a little bit of like a tacky feeling once it kind of like dries down. Nothing like overly tacky, but I guess that's just how I'm thinking to describe it. But it has a bit of moisturization to it, or feels a bit moisturizing. So I feel like my skin has a bit of a glow to it now. I think that this would definitely be nice to kind of mix in with the foundation as well. But yeah, so I'm also going to try this as a highlighter as well, so I'll do that in a little bit. Also, this retails for $25. It's supposed to give a radiant finish. It's vegan. It's made without silicones. Some of the highlighted ingredients for this is plant-derived glycerin, which is a powerful humectant to help increase skin's natural moisture level, and then also a vitamin C, which is known to brighten the skin's appearance, and then rosehip seed oil, which is ultra rich in antioxidants to help visibly brighten and moisturize skin. And this product is gluten-free, cruelty-free, and it comes in recyclable packaging. The next thing that I'm going to test out is their Slip Tint. This is their Slip Tint Dewy Tinted Moisturizer SPF 35 Sunscreen. This retails for $32, and I got this in the shade 3. This does come in 14 shades, so I got this in the shade 3. And shade 3 is described as for light to medium skin tones with peach undertones. This is described as a tinted moisturizer that offers skin-loving hydration, sheer, dewy coverage in confusion-free shades, and 100% mineral UV protection. Some of the highlighted ingredients in this are licorice, jojoba esters, and pansy flowers. I'm just gonna go ahead and apply this, and it is supposed to be a light coverage, a very sheer coverage, so not expecting much coverage from this. And actually I have used this before, so I already do know that this does not give much coverage at all. All right, well, I'm not able to get this to pump out right now. I don't know why it's not pumping out, so I'm just gonna take it like this. Just gonna apply it all over. And this actually does have a pretty like thick formula once you like take it out, but then once you rub it in, it immediately starts to feel super, super lightweight. Almost feels like a moisturizer slash serum, where it's just, it melts into the skin so quickly, so easily, and it feels like a thinner consistency once you rub it in. But as you can see there, like it almost looks like a thick kind of texture, but then when you rub it in, it just melts into the skin and feels more of like a lightweight or sheer consistency. I don't know if I'm explaining that well, but as you can see, it's not giving much coverage at all, almost like zero coverage, I would say. But I mean, it does say that. It says it's going to be a sheer coverage. So almost think of it like just a regular like sunscreen, except for with a tad bit of a tint, just like a tiny, tiny bit of a tint. But really, it's just not going to give much coverage. So there's that one application, I guess I'll go ahead and I will apply one more layer just to kind of show you guys, see if it builds up at all. Just gonna dot this around the cheeks, especially around the cheeks where I have that leftover hyperpigmentation, and then blend that in. So that's giving like a little bit of coverage there. So I'd say, you know, adding a layer builds up the coverage just a little bit. Like initially it looks like it's giving it a bit more coverage, but then once it's like all rubbed in, you start to see those like marks again. So it's just not gonna give much coverage. So very much like it says, it does claim that it's gonna be a sheer coverage, and that is very, very true. And it gives the skin definitely a dewy look. So if you like a dewy type of base product or sunscreen, I think that you would like this. It almost feels like kind of oily on my skin and slightly like heavy in like the oily feeling on my skin, and I have combination skin. So I definitely would probably want to set this with a powder if I were to actually like just wear this on its own, just because it does feel a bit dewy. I feel like it doesn't even like look that dewy, but it feels pretty oily on the skin. And I don't like love the feeling of it feeling super oily. It does have jojoba esters in here, and it says that that provides moisturization and leaves skin nourished but not greasy. I do think that it is, you know, moisturizing and nourishing, but I feel like it almost feels like slightly greasy. And I feel like it kind of feels greasy. I don't know if greasy would be the word, but it definitely does feel like pretty oily on the skin, at least for me. And I do have combination skin. So if you have dry skin, maybe you wouldn't think it feels that oily, but at least for me, I feel like it just feels a little bit oily. If you like a super lightly tinted sunscreen that gives a dewy finish, then you might like this one. But at least for my skin type, I feel like it feels a little bit more oily than I prefer. So then I do want to give my skin a little bit more coverage, so I'm going to go in with this concealer from Ilia. This is the Ilia True Skin Serum Concealer, and I'm just going to apply this under the eyes a little bit, and then I'll just kind of spot conceal on top of some of my pigmentation marks. I'm not gonna go like too much. I mean, that looks like I just applied a lot, but I'm not gonna worry too much about like getting like full coverage or anything, but I do want to cover up my marks just a little bit more. And so I'm just gonna go in with my Real Techniques sponge. And you can see it gave a little bit more coverage, but it's not gonna be full coverage, but that's fine. I like this for like an everyday look. I don't need it to be like full coverage. Alright, so then the next product that I got from them is their bronzer. This is their Sunmelt Natural Cream Bronzer. I have this in the shade Light Bronze, and they do have 4 shades to choose from. This retails for $28, and this is described as a lightweight, creamy balm bronzer with a natural velvet finish that melts into skin for an easy sun-kissed glow. Some of the highlighted ingredients are colloidal oatmeal, which soothes, smooths, and moisturizes the skin, grapeseed oil, which contains antioxidants and vitamin E, elderberry extract, which balances the skin's microbiome and is high in vitamin A. This is what the product looks like. To be honest with you, I have not tried many like cream bronzers. I definitely don't normally use cream bronzers, so I'm not like super experienced in using them. But yeah, so I'm just like, I'm not the best at using these, so bear with me if I just don't look like I'm doing this totally right. I'm just gonna use this Real Techniques brush. I think this is their like buffing brush. So I'm just gonna take a little bit on the brush. I think I just applied way too much. So I'm just gonna kind of, it might look a little crazy at first, but don't worry, I will blend it in. The thing about like cream products though is that they look really natural. So I hope that I will like this, because cream products, I just do like how like skin-like they look, because they blend into the skin so nicely. Okay, so that blended really well on the forehead, and I almost feel like I want to use a little bit more product there, but I'm just gonna continue blending the sides of the cheeks, kind of like the contours of the cheeks. So that blended out really, really well. I definitely feel like bronzers always kind of like emphasize the hyperpigmentation that I have, but that's any bronzer. It's just because it kind of like takes away the coverage of where I had the base product, although it didn't have much coverage there anyway. Taking a little bit more on the forehead. I'm gonna take some onto the jawline. I'm gonna also take a little bit onto the nose. Oh, I totally forgot to blend in this little bit of concealer. This definitely blends in beautifully. So beautifully and so easily. I feel like these products from Saie Beauty are definitely kind of that like no makeup look where they're all like really easy to blend in. They all kind of give like that like dewy, no makeup kind of look. Super easy to blend in and looks really skin-like. I feel like you wouldn't even necessarily know that I'm like wearing a bronzer. I feel like it just looks super natural and just it blends out really seamlessly. So that's really nice. And I also feel like this shade, light bronze, is a good shade for me. So then the next product is their Dew Blush Liquid Cheek Blush. This retails for $22. I got this in the shade Peachy, which is described as a light peach pink. And this is described as a water-based gel blush with a creamy blendable formula that gives skin a healthy flush of seamless color. This is supposed to give a natural finish. It is fragrance-free, it is made without silicones, and it is clean plus planet positive. The highlighted ingredients for this are mulberry, which is known to help brighten skin and fade pigmentation. Oh, that sounds really cool. I could definitely use some fading of the hyperpigmentation that I have. So then it also has elderberry, which fights free radical and environmental damage. And then it has evening primrose, which helps moisturize and soothe dry and irritated skin. So this is what the product looks like. And then it has kind of like a big doe foot type of applicator. I'm just gonna take a little bit on my finger. I have used this before and I really like this color. I think this color is super pretty. So I'm just gonna take a little bit onto the cheeks. Almost like matches my nail color that I have on right now. It's a really pretty peachy pink color, like a light pink color. And then just blending this in. This blends in like amazingly. So beautifully. This is definitely gonna give your skin an even dewier look. Also, I probably applied way too much because I feel like a little bit of this does go a long way. And has some really good pigment in here. I definitely applied too much, but you can just see how natural this is gonna look. Once I like blend it all in, I feel like this is definitely like a no makeup kind of look. One thing I will say about this, which I already said though, is that this is definitely gonna give a dewy finish. It is very dewy. I almost feel like it's, sorry, my nose itches. I almost feel like this is like too dewy. I'm gonna go in with a sponge. And the only reason I say too dewy is just because, maybe just because of like the other base products that I have on or the other products that I have on, like all of their other products are very dewy as well. So it's just like dewy upon dewy upon dewy, which I think is really pretty and it's perfect for that like no makeup kind of look, kind of that like glass skin kind of look. Super pretty. But yeah, definitely very dewy, and I do have combination skin, and I just find that it's like a little too dewy, but I do think it is absolutely beautiful, and it blends so nicely. When I did blend it out with the sponge, I feel like it definitely took away a little bit of that color. I almost want to add a little bit more color back again. So because this is such a dewy look, I personally do want to set this. So I'm going to set this a little bit, and I'm going to use the RMS Beauty On Powder. This is their translucent powder. I'm just going to set the T-zone area around the nose. I almost want to set like a little bit of like the cheeks as well because it's just so dewy. And as you can tell, I almost feel like it like doesn't even look like I'm wearing makeup now. Everything's just like so sheer, which I think is very pretty. Again, good for that like no makeup kind of look. I feel like it almost looks similar to when I first started this before I was wearing makeup. I definitely I have a little bit of color to my skin and I have a little bit more coverage to my skin, but yeah, it's very sheer kind of no makeup kind of makeup. So I do want to do my eyebrows. So I'm gonna apply, they don't have a brow product, I don't think. So I'm gonna use the Merit Beauty brow pomade gel. I'm just gonna run this through my brows. I have this in the shade Blonde if you're curious. I really, really enjoy this brow product. I have used this a lot. It's just super quick and easy to use. And then for mascara, I'm gonna use the Heilo Beauty Limitless Lash Mascara. Love, love, love this mascara. And then for lips, I'm gonna apply the Heilo. This is their balmy tint hydrating lip balm in the shade Hold Me. I feel like this shade goes well with the blush shade that I used. I really like these. If you guys have not seen my swatch video for these, maybe you want to figure out like which shade you like the best, definitely check out my swatch video for these. I swatch all of the shades that they have, but these are so nice. I love the formula. If you like a tinted lip balm, honestly, a lip balm that gives a really good color, actually. It's like not even just tinted. You can definitely get a good kind of like bolder color with this, but it's really moisturizing. Recommend these if you like that kind of a product. I definitely think that you would like these. But yeah, so here is the completed look. It's definitely like a simple makeup look. I do think that it is pretty. It's a very natural kind of look. Honestly, I don't know how much I would personally use this just because it's a little bit more dewy than I prefer. Definitely though, setting it just a little bit with a powder really helped kind of get rid of a little bit of that like extra shine. I do think that this is really nice, but I personally do like to have like a little bit more coverage, and that's probably just because I do have that pigmentation. If I didn't have any hyperpigmentation, I may be totally fine with using something that is very, very sheer coverage or basically no coverage. I do use sunscreen sometimes that have no coverage, and I like those as well. It just kind of depends on what you're going for, but yeah, just know this is a very, very sheer coverage. But I do think it is nice, and I do feel like it's just a little bit too oily for me personally. And then I do really, really like this blush. I think it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. It blends so amazing. I love the color of this. The color of this definitely goes really well with the lip color that I have on. Again, this is the Heilo lip balm in the shade Hold Me. And I'm just gonna kind of like add a little bit more so you guys can kind of see the similarity. I guess this shade is a little bit like of a deeper pink. This one's definitely lighter color, but I still feel like it goes pretty well with that blush shade, and this blush shade is beautiful. For any of these products, if you like a very simple, dewy, natural look, I think that you would enjoy these products. If you don't like dewy kind of products, then these are probably not ones that you're gonna enjoy because these are all very, very dewy. Oh, I totally forgot to like add highlighter. I'm gonna go in again with their glowy super gel. So I'm just going to take a little bit and I'm gonna add this to the tops of my cheeks for a little extra added dew. This is not gonna be like your typical highlighter if you wanna use this as a highlighter. I almost feel like it doesn't totally work as a highlighter. I mean, it does. It's just kind of like that like dewy kind of highlighter rather than a highlighter that's going to give like that like shininess to it. I feel like I'm terrible explaining this right now. But it's definitely, it almost just looks like an oily highlighter, if that makes sense. It is very pretty, but just trying to explain what it looks like. It doesn't have that like shimmer that like a lot of highlighters have. Like it does, but it's a very subtle kind of shimmer, not really like a pigmented highlighter, if that makes sense. I do think this works really well for wearing under makeup, kind of like a primer, just to give your skin a little bit of a glow before applying a foundation or a base product, or just wearing on its own. I think that this would be really pretty. And I also think that this would be really good for like mixing it with a foundation. And then this bronzer, I do think that it is absolutely beautiful. I almost feel like it's like barely even detectable now. I guess it kind of did give a little bit of warmth to my skin, but it's just like so, it blends in so well that I feel like I can like almost not even notice that I like have it on anymore. I don't know. You guys tell me what you think. I do think it's beautiful, and it does blend in so well. If you are looking for a cream kind of bronzer that blends in really well, then I do think that this one is worth checking out. I do think that it is really, really nice. But all right, anyway, that is it for today's video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this and found it helpful. If you guys do have any questions about these products, please let me know in the comment section below. And if you guys have tried any of these products, I would love to know your thoughts on them. Maybe if you have used them in different ways than I have, let me know. I love to know your thoughts on these products, and also maybe if you have any recommendations on how to use these products, if you've used them in any different ways. I'd love to know how you like to use them. But anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, please let me know by giving me a thumbs up. And if you guys do want to see more content from me, it would mean so much if you would go ahead and subscribe to my channel. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you all for my next video. Bye guys.